All right, welcome to another episode of Song Title Challenge, where the question is, how would you write this one? You're getting inside the mind of a hit songwriter, and I'm here to offer the narration and the perspective on it all. But the C.L.I.M community sends in, or anybody, any climbers, you don't have to be in the C.L.I.M community, anybody listening to the podcast can send in their song title idea to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular, there is no S. info@daredevilproduction.com. Put song title challenge in the subject line, and then what I do is I spring them live on the podcast to Brent, who has no idea what's coming.
None.
And then we try to mimic what happens in the first 15 minutes of a pro song right on Music Row, where we're going to kick around some different conceptual approaches before we start writing lyrics. We're like, what is the song about? And that's what we're trying to determine, and just thinking outside of the box to come up with the most clever way. Maybe it's the first one. Maybe it's always been the first one, but there's a lot of times that it isn't. That's how you do. That's how you make this happen. So anything you want to add to that, Brent?
So where do they send it? info@daredevilproduction.com. Put song title challenge in the subject line, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, this remains your song. I don't take any ownership. I'm just here to help, and also to encourage you guys to dig in deeper and just know that there may be gold just around the corner, or a little bit, a couple inches down through the dirt. So don't keep on climbing, but keep on digging too. So
that's right. Are you ready? Okay, so before I spring this on you, I'm challenging you big time now. Okay.
Oh boy. Okay.
So I'm going to tell you a quick little story. So it's the Warren brothers, who I used to play with down in Florida. They used to have a band called St. Warren. We played a lot of gigs together, man.
Okay, Brad and Brett. And
yeah. So they wrote a song called Red Solo Cup.
Yes, Toby Keith hit.
That's it.
The Warren brothers and the Beaver brothers, the Warren Beavers.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that was birthed from a barbecue where I believe they were, I don't know if Toby Keith was there or not, but somebody came up to them and they were talking about music, and it was probably, if I know them well enough, it was, probably Brett that was like, I can write a song about anything. And so I was like, write a song about this solo cup. So then boom, like they went and grabbed a guitar and sat down and made it happen right there. You know? Yeah. So here it is. Okay, this is your Red Solo Cup.
All right, who's the writer that's sitting?
The writer's name is Michael Janis.
Michael Janis. Okay, Michael. Yep. I'm a little scared here.
And
thank you for sending it in.
That's right. And the song title is Honkytonk Chariot.
Honkytonk Chariot. All right, I'm just writing this down here so I can have it in front of me as I cuss at it. All right, Honkytonk Chariot. Well, man, that's your big old truck, right? That's your chariot.
Or it's your General Lee.
It's your General Lee. It's your chariot. Yeah. So, I mean, it could definitely be a truck song because it's your, where you go honky-tonking, right? You're going out to the honky-tonk and getting your truck all right.
Yeah.
Put a new coat of clean on it. Wash it down. You got it all right for the, maybe. You
got to get the mud off from when you were mudding. Yeah.
Exactly. You're getting it all shined up and getting ready to go pick up your queen in your honky-tonk chariot or whatever, and
which suggests that there's a queen involved, right? Because there's a chariot. Like it suggests that somebody important's riding in it.
It feels that way, yeah. I mean, or you're going out because you're the, I don't know, you're the pharaoh of the honky-tonk circuit or whatever. Either you're the king or queen, whatever. But for country, because the way we look at these, we try to go, okay, how can we write this to give the best chance of success in a market? Usually it's country, right? And this definitely feels like a country thing, right?
Yeah.
Or it could be other things, but we're trying to, how do we build this thing in a way to give it a competitive advantage where it's going to be competitive, where it has a chance, right? So within the constraints of what this title is. So Honky-Tonk Chariot, so it's feeling, okay, so the phrase honky-tonk right now in country, and this changes, you don't hear it a whole lot. Now you got the Jake Owen thing, I go down to the honky-tonk way down, so there's that. There's a hit out there now with honky-tonk in the title. George Strait has, I think, Honky-Tonk Time Machine, and, he's got honky-tonk stuff going on his current record. So it's out there. So it's not totally out of the mainstream, but still more of a subset, I would say. So Honky-Tonk Chariot, how do you write that in a way? So tempo is good, right?
It's not a sad song.
It's not a sad song. You wanted to put some tempo on it, and I don't think you covered this in the David Lee Roth episode earlier this week, but you talked about, they take some really sad songs, but put tempo on it.
Yeah. There's like that's right. I remember, like the Mavericks did that. I remember I just had some meetings with the Mavericks, and I revisited their music, and I was just thinking of you the whole time, Brent, because it was like, man, like these are really, really sad songs, but they're so upbeat.
And they feel so good, right?
Yeah, and you got this killer voice doing it. It's like, what? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so, Honkytonk Chariot feels like it's going to be a fun song, but I'm just saying in general, it's good if you can put some tempo on some stuff, even if it feels like a sadder lyric. So you want some groove, you definitely want to feel honky-tonkin', right? You want to feel country. And so I think there's a lot of imagery in there. So I think of the Chariot is the truck. Makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Or it's her honky-tonk Chariot. It's it's her Trans Am kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it could be just about the truck, and you're going to go honky tonk, and you'll be the king of the honky tonk kind of thing. And I know chariots are more Pharaoh Egyptian, I guess. Middle East.
No, I think that was chariot would be more Pharaoh Egyptian. Is like you get like Queen Lady Gaga in the cocoon thing. Like you get hauled in by men. The pharaohs did. The chariot is. More of the Roman times. That's the Max. That's Circus Maximus. Yeah.
There we go. Romans. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And Elijah getting taken up to heaven in chariots of fire. Right.
There you go. Yeah,
so it's got this old school kind of thing to it. So it could be the truck thing. I'm talking about how your truck is your honky tonk chariot. How many horses under the hood pulling this honky tonk chariot?
There you go. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's so good. That's so. Why wouldn't you have that in there? Like,
why wouldn't you?
Obvious, and I didn't think about it.
Don't talk about the horses under the hood, right?
Yeah.
And let's see here. Oh man, that's so. It's just. So what do you do with the truck song to make that interesting? You definitely got to pick up your queen. Your empress, I guess.
Yep.
But you probably just want to keep it queen, even though that may not quite be on theme as far as chariots and stuff, but it still evokes that close enough for country, I think. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got that thing about, I'm just going on my honky-tonk chariot. Maybe you're going to the honky-tonk, maybe you're not. Maybe it's the rolling honky-tonk on wheels kind of thing, but okay, what else could we talk about?
I got an idea.
Yeah. Johnny.
So what if it was about, what if the general gist of the song was about a redneck frugalness, you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses, and maybe it's about a real old truck, honky tonk chariot, and you could talk about all things that's wrong with it, but it's still just perfect because it fits you great, Yeah,
it ain't. I would say, like it ain't chariot, but it's chariot or whatever. I'm thinking about
There you go. It ain't chariot, but it's my honky-tonk chariot.
Like you're going to fix it up and get it. It's awesome. I don't know.
That's great.
It ain't. I'm trying to think of the rhyme because chariot is, man, that's a tough rhyme. What do you rhyme? Chariot.
Well, chariot. Perfect.
Take it out and bury it.
Yeah. They said to take it out and bury it. I said, no, it's my honky-tonk chariot. I'm working on it on the weekends. It ain't chariot, but it's my honky-tonk chariot.
Yeah, it ain't. Or it's something like there yet. It ain't Friday night or something that you're going to get there yet. You ain't there yet, but we're rolling in style in my honky-tonk chariot.
Yeah.
Or it could be an unrhymed line at the end of the chorus kind of thing. So that seems, pretty basic. I want to find something a little more interesting. There's a Gretchen Wilson song called Chariot that I think Leslie Satcher wrote it. It's about this, this Trans Am, and it's called the Chariot. And, when Diane go to heaven, she's going to be, this Firebird Chariot kind of thing. It's really cool, different kind of song. So I'm trying not to step on that while thinking about this. Is there something inside the honky tonk that's a chariot? Is it the bar stool?
How about the bull?
The bull. Yeah, I thought about the bull. Yeah, is you're riding the bull in the honky tonk, the mechanical
bar stool. That's good. Yeah,
the bar stool is your chariot.
Same old bar stool again, Bob. This is my honky tonk chariot.
I know.
takes me to where I want to go.
Exactly. I'm the king on my honky tonk. You'd want to say throne on my honky tonk throne, but
yeah.
Unless you think you're throwing up in the bathroom.
Yeah, when you say throne, you mean like thrown up?
Thrown up, right? Exactly. The king on the throne's done thrown up.
Yeah.
So Honky Tonk Chariot. So let's see. Whipping Friday night, giving Friday night a whipping in my Honky Tonk Chariot. You think of whipping the horses, go faster.
Yeah.
That's pretty inside, I guess, or kind of
hang on tight because the horses get going a little too fast and you're just get a little out of control and you're trying to.
It could be a little scary chariot. Honky Tonk Chariot.
Get a little scary yet, but it's the Honky Tonk Chariot.
Scared yet?
We haven't lost a man yet on the Honky Tonk Chariot.
Chariot races. You go out mudding or you're, drag racing or something like that. Honky Tonk Chariot. You think about the Coliseums and those kind of things like Gladiator. Are you not entertained? They got the chariots with the.
That's right. My nephews yesterday we're at my two nephews and my sister and my brother-in-law were all at the monster truck rally in Louisville. Yeah. Honky Tonk Chariots right there. We're in a big stadium with a thumbs up or thumbs down.
If you talk about if you do a gladiator kind of thing, right? Okay, so what if you're like kind of the Honky Tonk Gladiators? Last man standing.
Yeah.
I want to be the last man standing.
Oh, there you go.
Not in a fighting way, but in
a drinking way.
Party till I'm the last man standing.
Oh, that's good.
In the arena and whatever. If you do kind of a gladiator thing, it's I'm the tall glass gladiator.
Oh yeah,
that sort of thing. And I'm rolling up in my honky and I'll sleep out in my Honky Tonk Chariot. Sleep it off in my Honky Tonk Chariot, or you're rolling up in your Honky Tonk Chariot like the Coliseum, the cricket Coliseum.
Yeah, and they go around the circle. Yeah,
and
because that's the way rodeo is too, isn't it? Like,
yeah, we got the circular arena. Yeah, and that could be cool too if it's a rodeo thing. Certainly it's not mainstream country what's right now, but. If it is like you're the gladiator and they're going to the arena, because there's a lot of parallels. They are fighting the bull and stuff, and then you ride off in your Honky Tonk Chariot to go celebrate or whatever with your buckle bunnies.
Yeah,
and
I never heard that before.
You never heard Buckle Bunny?
No,
son, you need to listen to more Brooks and Dunn and watch more 8 Seconds. God bless Luke Perry. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I think so. Is that like what's a buckle bunny? Is buckle bunny like
it's a rodeo groupie?
Rodeo groupie? Oh,
yeah, it's a rodeo groupie girl. It's a buckle bunny. It's the buckles. So yeah, and Brooks and Dunn talked about that. And Big Cat Daddy, she's my little Miss Honky Tonk. I wouldn't give her up for 1,000 buckle bunnies. Big Cat Daddy, she's my little Miss Honky Tonk.
Okay, I gotta.
So anyway, it could be that, and you're riding off in your Honky Tonk in your Honky Tonk Chariot, or the showing up, and you're gonna be the last man standing. You're riding in your Honky Tonk Chariot, and you're gonna slay every drink that comes your way, kind of thing. To your last man stand. You go sleep it off in your Honky Tonk Chariot,
and do battle against the ladies on the dance floor, kind of thing. And
whatever, yeah.
You could spin that a lot of ways, and just make that a night out of. Yeah.
So that would be interesting to give it more of a thing around the chariot, which it could go into cheesy land for sure. It just depends on, it sounds like it could be very 90s.
Well, Honky Tonk Badonka Donk did okay. Like, and that was like, I don't even think Chris Staples, he's like, man, I don't want to talk about that song again.
Or Jamie Johnson.
Yeah. Both of them wrote
Jamie
that, right?
Johnson and Dallas Davidson. And
wasn't it Stapleton too? Or was it Jamie Johnson?
It was Stapleton. It was Jamie Johnson.
That
Honky Tonk.
Badonka Donk.
Give mercy. So there are a couple ways, Michael. I wonder if there's something else. So I do like the kind of the gladiator. You don't want to say rhinestone gladiator. That's really dating yourself. But I'm a country boy gladiator, riding them in my Honky Tonk Chariot kind of thing, doing battle on Friday night. Interesting. Or stuff you're doing for the Queen. How they'd fight in the arena, and then the Joaquin Phoenix character would give a thumbs up or thumbs down whether or not they kill the competitor that they bested.
Yeah.
And it's like, right. I'm doing it for her, my queen, kind of this stuff right. I'm doing is to impress her, basically.
Well, maybe the Honky Tonk Chariot doesn't have to be the truck. Maybe the Honky Tonk Chariot's the cocktail.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
That'd be a good name for a cocktail. For a bar. Chariot. That just happened. Like,
yeah.
Tootsies, call me. I've got a... We'll put this together.
Oh yeah, drinking those honky-tonk chariots.
Because that transports you, right? That's going to transport you. All of a sudden, you get a little bit more cocky. You get a little bit more confident.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk a little bit better. You think you can talk to the girls, to the ladies. Maybe you get into a fight. You can beat them up because you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof with your honky-tonk chariot.
You're riding that honky-tonk chariot. Yeah.
And you were right. It's Jamie Johnson, Dallas Davidson, and Randy Houser.
Randy Houser. Okay.
Randy Houser. Yeah. I thought that was
Stapleton. No.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's written his too that he'd probably go, yeah, I don't want to talk about that one either. But we all have. So, all right. Well, Michael, I hope we're about 16 minutes in. So I think we've ran out the clock sufficiently on that one. But I hope that helps you. And listen, Michael or any other writers, I do coaching. Basically, I do one-on-one consulting, private consulting. I do private song title challenges. Sometimes you just don't want to, you have a title you really love. You're not sure what to do with it. I mean, I know that feeling. And maybe you just want to run them by me but just not have them be listened to thousands of times or whatever, be having it live here on the podcast. You can do that. You can reach out to me at songwritingpro.com/coaching. I do private consulting. So, I mean, seriously, I had people do private song title challenges going, hey, I just want to throw some titles at you and I just want to see what you do with them. And then I'm going to go write whatever angle I like the best. Great. That's fun. It's a fun way for me to spend 30 minutes or an hour. We also have people bring in songs and get feedback on it. And also one thing I've started doing is song feedback, where you send a song in and then I record a response about 8 to 10 minutes and then I email it back to you. So you don't have to show up at a particular time or whatever. I get it back to you usually within about a week and get some feedback on that. Actually, got a nice feedback just right before we started this episode from Dan. Yeah, I want to read this. This is from Dan. He's a new Freddie member. And so I also do some of those through Freddie, but he had me do review one of his songs. He said, hey, Brent, thank you so much for your feedback. I appreciate your time, and I love that you actually gave a real review, unlike the many scam online review services. I really value your opinion and will definitely work on your suggestions. P.S. The C.L.I.M.B is the best podcast out there. Best, yes! Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, thumbs up.
So rock on, Dan. And I'm glad you liked your review. Feel free to send in a rewrite, or if you want to book an interactive session, you can do that at songwritingpro.com/coaching. So feel free if I could help you all out with that. I'm happy to do it. It's fun.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of the Killer Song Title Challenge. Once again, if you've got a song, you want to send it in. Send as many as you like in, by the way. You don't need to send one in. We have writers do that often, and sometimes we'll use multiple ones over time from that list. So send it in to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. info@daredevilproduction.com, and put Song Title Challenge in the subject line to make sure it gets into the right folder, and we just may make you famous and read it on the air.
Right? That's right.
All right, guys. Well, this podcast exists because we want you to win, so keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.
Song Title Challenge.